All right, Stan, we were waiting for you. So we now have quorum, so I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 5:31. And I will start with roll call. Mr. Alvarez.
Here.
Oh, you're Mr. Arredondo.
Verbier.
Alvarez is absent. Mr. Arredondo.
Here.
Okay, Mr. Arqueno. Ms. Chavarrin. Ms. Delgadillo.
Here.
Ms. Espinosa.
Here.
Mr. Friedman.
Present.
Mr. Lopez is here. Mr. Morrison.
Here.
Mr. Ochoa. Mr. Ortiz.
Here.
Mr. Perez.
Here.
Mr. Ripa. And Mr. Wells. Okay, we have 8 members present, and that is a quorum. Moving on to approval of the agenda. Go ahead.
Want to get something?
Yeah, we do. So it's a lot easier to table items than to add them. So we did have several requests for presentations. The first 2 are going to be tabled to next month because they had conflicts with today's. That's all I have.
Okay, I have only one question.
Yes, sir.
On item 4E.
Yes.
Approve the infrastructure project priority. Approve a list of 20 priority projects. The list that you sent out last night has 44 projects.
Right, so when we get to that item, that's what the tally sheet is for. I'm gonna give an opportunity to each member to give 20 projects. You also got an email, and there is a effort by this department of the city to get public feedback on infrastructure priorities. They've asked each CPG to provide a list of 20 priority projects. So when we get to that item, I'll ask you what your preferences are, and then we'll vote on a list of 20 from this CPG. They don't have to be from the list. They can be any project that you want to bring up, but this was the starting point. I know.
Okay, I have something to say about that when we get to it. In any case, other than that, so we're gonna have move approval of the published agenda.
Second,
Second.
Mr. Arredondo, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. So minutes, Mr. Wells is not here. He has the minutes from March. So I did send out the minutes from last month, from July. If there are any corrections, additions?
Move approval as written, including the 2 attachments.
Is there a second? Mr. Arredondo? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, so that'll be for July. We're still missing March. Item number 3 is public comment on matters not on the agenda. Mr. Locara, you were going to go.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Carlos Locara, San Diego Police Department. I requested to do my report early because I need to get out of here early. My apologies, but good seeing everybody in a little bit. A couple things I wanted to mention is regarding Chief of Police. We have a new Chief of Police. Doing a lot of changes, several new positions. We have new commander positions at the executive level for our department. as well as some civilian executive positions, which I think is a good thing. There's been quite a few promotions at the captains, lieutenants, sergeants, and detectives levels. Definitely a lot of movement within the department. Here at Southern Division, we on August 3rd basically is when most of those movements came into effect. We lost Captain Sines from Southern. She went to Mid-City. Our lieutenants, we lost Lieutenant Jimenez went to Community Relations. It's a new division that has been brought about by the new chief, which I think is going to be a good thing. And we have right now we have new Captain Al Leos, who is familiar with the division. He's been here before, basically at all levels, some patrol, sergeant, lieutenant, and as captain. This will be his second go around here at Southern Division as a captain. We have 2 acting lieutenants, hoping to get promoted soon. I think there's going to be late September. There will probably be some promotions, and it'll be acting lieutenant Luis Colon, who came from our neighborhood policing division. He's familiar with Southern Division, and also acting lieutenant Brian Dempsey. He was also here as an officer and a sergeant, so he's familiar with Southern Division. So we're looking forward to working with them and hoping to get promoted. They're both good, would make good lieutenants. Also wanted to thank people who ever attended National Night Out. That was August 6th at South Bay Rec Center. Very well attended. We normally have the largest National Night Out in the county of San Diego. So appreciate any of the community members that attended that. Also, like I had mentioned earlier, community relations, eventually, right now, we basically have the structure has changed for community relations, which is my position. So I normally am under the captain and lieutenants at my division. But right now, a new division that has been brought about is the Community Relations and Juvenile Division. So we actually have a captain and a lieutenant, 2 lieutenants. One will be on the Community Relations side, one will be on the juvenile side. And then, it's still in flux, but they will be overseeing all the community relations, all the community meetings, anything with juvenile services team, which eventually what they want to do is they want to actually have them centralized up in some part of the city, not really sure where. I think Neighborhood Policing Division, which is the old Chargers training camp. I think they're looking at least the juvenile side maybe being based out of there and working out of there. So that's a new division. It's really, the captain and lieutenants here have only been there a couple of weeks, so they're still trying to figure out exactly how it's going to work out. But that's something that's up and coming. They don't foresee us as community relations going up there for at least a couple of years. So that'll be after I retire probably. So, and then also just wanted to mention there was this morning there was a warrant that was served at the 190 Calle Primera in front of Willow Elementary. So it's the old travel lodge. It's gone through several names. Primera. I think Primera something, but also it used to be an old travel lodge. That building is actually under investigation with our code compliance. So they've been trying to work on trying to get it cleaned up and people evicted. The problem is that we're not getting any cooperation from the owner. So it's in process. The warrant what they found today was some narcotics, quite a bit of narcotics. So that'll definitely help. What it's going to be referred to for some kind of civil assessment, and what they're hoping is that the owner will come forward and start fixing some of the things, which includes the eviction of the individuals that are there, because the building is actually condemned by the fire department. So it's kind of out of our hands right now. There's not much. We're just trying to make sure that they keep on giving it attention and dealing with it. And so it doesn't become what it has become right now, which is basically a nuisance to the community, especially right in front of the Willow Elementary. That is all I have. Is there any questions, any concerns from the community or board? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Lacara, I have a question. Everybody's aware that, there's improvements for Viaduct Boulevard, the bike lanes, construction. That, I've seen that there's a necessity to bring down the speed limit. I believe it used to be 30 miles an hour. And the lanes and everything are narrow and there's just more hazards. Either we increase the police presence. I was a witness to a 4-car accident right here at Derrimar Road intersection. And it's because, the lanes are so narrow, and this person went in the wrong direction and plowed into three oncoming vehicles. There were injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see that while they're constructing the bike lanes, it's going to be necessary to have more of this police presence, more patrols.
Yeah, we will do our best. Our staffing is really low. Our officers, their primary mission is not traffic. We have motor officers right now that I can refer that to. I'll make that request to them, but we only have 2 motor officers right now. We used to have 4. Staffing is really low with them too. But and it is kind of confusing. So I think that's what's causing it, and they change it every so often, so it throws people off. But I appreciate you bringing that to my attention.
I have a suggestion. Why don't you, as a police officer, talk with Santa to put at least some under construction or something? The people has to speed down on the construction area. Some signs or.
But there probably should be, because I think they're required by the state to put some signs. But I'll check it, and if there's not, then I'll make sure and contact them. But thank you for that suggestion.
Yesterday I drove through San Ysidro Community Center, and they did some weird island on the side.
That's part of the bike lane.
Well, the only thing, if anything happens over there and they need the fire department, that's not in compliance. I'm compliant, you need to have 20 feet width in order for the fire department to go. And they did like a traffic circle, which is like, it's not even in compliance.
The car's barely fit.
And I know they want to do like a bike lane through there, but it could be like another route, wider road, maybe bigger.
Yeah.
Because if they drive through there, if something happens, the whole thing is out of compliance.
Okay.
I did construction, I've done construction more than 35 years. And when that happens, it's not a compliance.
Okay. Well, Sandag, it's a Sandag project, and I'm sure they went through the proper channels and working with the city, traffic engineering, to make sure that it was within, whatever specs is required. With the fire department, it's a little difficult, because really the fire department, all they require is like, for instance, Cottonwood Road. Most of you are familiar with Cottonwood Road. I've always wanted them to paint part of that red because it's so narrow at some points. And in order to get that through traffic engineering, they have to make the request and tell fire department. Well, the fire department, as long as we can get one rig through, that's all they care, and they can. So that request has never been honored. So
What are the requirements for fire lanes?
For what?
For a fire lane?
In regards to
That's regarding fire, emergency.
painting it red, or what do you?
Know the width of the lanes?
Oh, the width of the lanes?
If they're not in compliance, why do they make an extra wide bicycle lane?
I know, I understand that, but I am pretty sure that it is probably in compliance, because they have to go through our traffic engineering. City of San Diego has to be approved, and I'm sure they're not going to make a lane that is not in compliance. But I'll look into it. I'll ask.
Check out some bigger centers. Check out some bigger centers for construction,
Okay.
and that's what it's gonna take. If sometimes you do a verify the approval, they can change their going. But if they don't have a 12-feet lane on it right now, and they up to minimum, they minimize for them, regardless who approve it, because the city can approve something that is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can try and track down the
One-
engineer on that.
Okay, on the trash, they come like every other Thursday.
I don't have, that's environmental services, so that's not my presentation. No,
Okay.
no. Okay, thank you. Yes.
I have a concern. In the corner of Vista Lane and Black Shore,
Mhm.
the big trucks start parked just in the curb again.
Okay.
Okay, and it's very hard to see if it's another car coming. I pass every day, and every day the big trucks are just on the curb.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Yes.
I have two. My first question, is there a next coffee with police department in this community? I've seen them out there, but I'm wondering if we're gonna have one here soon.
We haven't planned one, only because we have a new captain, new lieutenants. We will. We're actually talking about having tacos with a cop. So we're throwing some ideas around, but we're kind of letting the captain and lieutenants have only been here for about a week and a half, and so we're letting them settle in, and then we'll start talking about.
Because the community, like, right now has so many questions and everything going on, and
Yeah.
I think we need something like that
Yeah.
from, officers to the community.
Well, no. I mean, pretty much everybody has my contact information. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to give me a call.
And then the other one, what is the juvenile, the new one that you're talking about, when would that be open or?
No, it's in place right now. It's just the administration is going to be centralized now, where juveniles were administered at each division. Now it's going to be centralized. So it's just they're talking about moving them up there. That's going to be in the future. Unknown really how much in the future. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos.
Appreciate it.
Any other public comment on matters not on the agenda? Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Heather Ferbert. I am a Chief Deputy City Attorney for the City of San Diego, and I am running for City Attorney. I'll be on your ballot in November. I wanted to come by and introduce myself. I worked for the city for 10 years. I worked with most of our city departments, including our police department. And currently I work with the city council members on their priorities, on homelessness issues, housing issues. And I'm running because the city attorney needs to be a practicing lawyer who understands how the city works and tries to keep the city out of lawsuits. And the city gets sued a lot because people trip on sidewalks. And so we're working here a lot to try and make sure that those city dollars are available for your priorities, for road repairs and all of the things that your community needs. And so if we're not losing that money in lawsuits, ideally your council members can be spending it on your communities. And you can be putting it towards the CIP, which I know you're going to be talking about shortly. And so that's my goal, is to protect the taxpayer dollars, make sure that we have them to spend on our community's priorities and keeping our city and community safe. We prosecute misdemeanors that happen in the city. We work closely with the police department on those, and that's all of the stuff that you're seeing in your neighborhood, quality of life, graffiti, domestic violence, driving under the influence, those kinds of things. So happy to be here, excited to hear about what your community is talking about tonight, and thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna move on. We're tabling A and B tonight, and we're gonna move on to item C. We have Cook and Schmidt here, who are gonna talk about the cost of service study for Measure B. Measure B is what we approved as voters for the trash and recycling piece. I'm gonna let you guys get into the nitty-gritty.
Thank you. Hello, buenas tardes. Soy Elsa Sevilla. I'm with Cook and Schmidt, a PR firm supporting the city of San Diego with the cost of service study. So the cost of service study is basically getting input, giving out information to the community, making sure that folks know what Measure B is, what the potential services can be, and any related fees to that. As you mentioned, Measure B was passed in 2022 with a majority vote. So a lot of you voted for it, and that allowed the city to review potential fees and enhanced services for the city of San Diego, single-family residents in the city of San Diego. Do you have your question? So as I mentioned, that Measure B, it allows the city to review services that are provided now and any related fees. So the cost of service, we're having open house meetings and presentations in the community. And we're giving folks information, but the big point is getting feedback from the community. So you're able to do that in multiple ways, going to the city website and just telling the city what you like, what services you like right now, what services can be improved, and anything that you would like to see as new services. And so this is mostly for single family homes that there could be a fee implemented in by next year. So next slide. So right now, as I mentioned, we're doing this study. We're going throughout all the council districts in San Diego and handing out this information. I brought some flyers. Feel free to take some in the back. This one has open house meetings, and you're able to go to these to get more information and give input in person. But you can also do it by going to the website, and there's a QR code on one of these flyers, and you can go to the website and give your input, fill out a questionnaire. The more information the city gets from residents about what they like and what services can be improved, the better choice or decision the city can make, and also the city council. So the study is looking at what would be a fee structure, what would be good for maybe seniors or single moms who are on a fixed income. They're looking at, besides the services, also the potential fees and maybe a certain fee structure where it could be different for different folks, different incomes. That's something that they're looking at right now, and it won't be until we won't have any information until the study is completed. So if I can go to the next one. So those impacted are going to be the single family homeowners, renters on those homes, so people who rent those homes, and then properties with 4 or less units. So 4 or less units. And then people who already pay for services, trash collection fees, are people who live in condos, apartments, or in residences with 4 units or more, and then businesses. So those folks already pay for services. Everyone else, single family homes, do not. So basically, we're getting trash collection services for free. A lot of people think that property taxes pay for trash collection, but only about 17.8 cents to the dollar goes back to the city. Most of it goes to the county, and some goes to the state. But only about 17 cents goes back to the city, and so that is not enough to cover the trash collection fees. And so next slide. So the city's looking at potential enhanced services, and they're looking at, if the fee is implemented, you won't have to pay for new bins, replacements. It'll be included in the price. There will also potentially be more recycling. Right now we get it every other week, so it could be every week. And then the other one is bulky items like refrigerator, stoves, mattresses. That could be maybe once or twice a year, depending on your input. And that's why your input is so important. And then there's other services like hazardous materials. There's locations in the city of San Diego where you could take your hazardous materials like oil or paint. And so this study would look at trying to increase the hours and maybe create some satellites that are closer to folks so that they have better access for hazardous materials. So next slide. And so what this trash collection fee would do, it would free up a lot of what is already being used from the general fund. And so with a collection fee, that money would go to the general fund. That would free up that money for parks, public safety, libraries, homeless strategies, and street repairs. So right now, the general fund is not giving that money to parks, public libraries, homelessness strategies, and street repairs, because there isn't enough money to cover for the trash fees. So a lot of that is going to trash collection and not going to the core services that are needed. Next slide. And this is basically the timeline of the cost of service study. So we began we began the whole project a couple months ago, but open houses just started this month. Last week was the first open house. We had 2 last week. We had 2 this week, and then we're doing presentations, we're doing pop-ups, we're going out into the community and all the council districts because we want to reach hard-to-reach communities, low-income communities. A lot of times folks are not invested in the civic, in the city's, getting involved in the city's process. And so for us, the city really wanted to get into all the districts, and that's why I'm here and going through other planning groups and town councils. So this is the timeline that we're looking at, and so the study should be completed by the early next year, probably February, March, and then it'll be presented to the city council. The city council will decide whether to impose, not impose, or impose part of a fee. And then the public will get a mail postcard, and the public has 45 days to protest whatever the council decides on. So if there isn't more than 50% of folks sending in a protest card, then the fee would go into effect. And so that would be summer of 2026 that the fees could be rolled out. Next slide. And so I mentioned we're doing multiple meetings, 27 in-person public meetings in all council districts, August, November, March. We have a few virtual meetings if you're interested in telling folks about it that maybe can't go to one of the open houses or go in person, they can definitely do the virtual meeting. And then for those meetings, there's translation, interpretation services if needed, and other accommodations. And so, as I mentioned, one of the most important things is giving the information to the public, but also having the public give input, feedback, and your thoughts on trash collection, enhanced services, and related fees that could go along with that. Your input will be gathered through this study and will be presented to the city and the city council. That will allow the city and city council to make a better decision on what residents want. So having your input heard is super important. And you'll be able to do that through the in-person meetings. You can do that in person if you're able to go to the open houses, or you can also do it through a questionnaire on the city's website. And the flyers that I handed out has the city's website on there. And as I mentioned, pop-up events, community presentations, and other forms to get that information out to the public, to get the public to give input. Next slide. I kind of jumped a little bit, but there's an email to the city if you want to email them directly, and then there's the website. The questionnaire will be on the website, and the website address should be on the next slide or the following slide. As I mentioned, the city council will decide whether to adopt a fee, not adopt a fee, or adopt a portion of the fee for trash collection. Next slide. There's the waiting period. It's a 45-day waiting or protest period where folks can send in a postcard and say, I don't agree with this, or not send a postcard and agree with it. And then a fee could be implemented. Next slide. So here's the, if you're able to, there's a flyer in the back that has these QR codes. So one of the QR codes is for the questionnaire, the other one is for the city's website, and you can see there the email trash@sandiego.gov. You can definitely send emails on anything that you're interested in or anything that you want to get feedback on. The website cleangreensd.org has all the information you need to know about Measure B, the People's Ordinance, Proposition 218. That's all compiled into the cost of service study and the trash collection fees And so one of the things I'd like to hear from you is maybe some concerns, some thoughts, some ideas of what you are all thinking about trash collection fees. I do want to say also that San Diego, the city of San Diego is the only city in the county where single-family homeowners do not pay for trash. All the other cities in San Diego, in the county, do pay for trash. San Diego is one of 3 large cities in the state that also doesn't charge for trash collection. All the other large cities in the state charge for trash collection. So, any questions? Yes.
So I pay for the trash right now, but the money that's being taken, is that going already to the plan B, or where is that money going?
No, if
I live in a private one. so
Right.
Private ones in
you
the
have a
city.
private hauler, so
that's,
do you live in an apartment or do
I
you
live
live
in
in
a home park,
Okay.
so we pay for every trash,
Right.
everything, so
Okay.
I'm wondering, is that
So
already counting?
that's, you're not part of this single family homes. And so if you're paying for trash through a private hauler, that'll stay the same. Yes.
¿Puedo decirlo en español?
Sí, claro.
Para-
Le voy a tratar de decir en español para ver cómo le digo.
Mi preocupación, mi problema,
Sí.
como pueda llamarle, es si va cuando ya los contenedores están muy maltratados, ¿los van a reemplazar gratis hasta que esté implementado esto? ¿O ahorita puede uno reemplazarlos? Porque yo lo tengo en mi casa desde que lo pusieron, no sé cuántos años,
Ok.
20 o 25.
¿Y vive en una casa?
Sí,
Y vive en la ciudad.
sí.
Entonces puede.
Y lo que pasa es que los del camión lo golpean, lo
Sí.
avientan, ya está parchado con alambre por todos lados.
Sí. Hemos
Y
oído
lo
eso.
peor, que los últimos 4 meses ha estado el servicio pésimo.
Sí. Oh, ok.
No, vienen a veces, se supone que hoy lo saca uno, mañana viene.
Sí.
Algunas veces han venido hasta el sábado, viernes o sábado.
Sí.
Para ese tiempo ya la basura está regada por todas partes.
Y tiene, ok, 2 cosas, ¿verdad? Porque esas son 2 cosas. La primera es el bote, si está quebrado, usted puede reemplazarlo, pero tiene que pagar ahorita. Pero si este proceso pasa, va a pagar una fianza cada mes y van a cambiar, los botes va a estar incluido en eso y no tiene que pagar extra. Entonces, si se quiebra un bote, se lo reemplazan sin tener que pagar extra. Entonces, la segunda cosa es de que se tardan en llegar. Entonces, como yo no trabajo con la ciudad, tendría que hablar a la ciudad y decirle, ¿sabes qué? Están viniendo muy tarde, se pasan 1 día, 2 días y eso deberían de arreglar.
Hay veces vienen el día, pero hay días que
Sí. A nosotros también nos pasa.
viernes o sábado y
Sí,
la
sí,
basura
sí.
se riega por todo. ¿Y quién la levanta?
Oh, wow.
Yo vivo sola y soy persona mayor y con deshabilidad. ¿Y qué hago?
Sí.
Pues hacerlo.
Tome fotos y también, ya lo
El año
hizo.
pasado,
Ya lo hizo.
uno de los camiones se le salió todo el aceite enfrentito de mi driver.
Sí. Ok.
Vinieron hasta otro día porque estuve llamando a la ciudad y todo, y nomás echaron tantita arena.
Sí, no
O
sé
sea,
qué es el
servicios.
proceso.
En el Get It Done,
También.
en el Get It Done puede poner la queja de
No
que-
estaba todavía el año pasado.
Sí, no, pero ahorita por el servicio puede
Bueno, pero
poner.
ahorita ya la arena ya se fue todo.
Ajá, pero si sigue teniendo problemas, lo puede hacer con Get It Done. Y alguien, vienen en uno, a veces para nosotros, yo vivo en North Park, y a veces nos pasa lo mismo, y vienen horas después o el siguiente día, pero no varios días.
Casi 60 años aquí en San Isidro y apenas estoy viendo estos problemas.
Que hay más
También
gente
por
también,
tanta
¿verdad?
gente que
Hay más
ahorita.
gente. Okay.
Para contestar la pregunta, el reemplazo gratis es hasta que
No,
empiece
por eso
el
no te
programa.
pregunté.
Entonces ahorita todavía tiene que
Sí.
pagar. Entonces,
Entonces, tiene que
espérese.
pagar.
Voy a seguir
You had a question?
Yeah, I also live in the city. So my question is regarding the 50% of the cards that are sent out. Is it actually the ones that are sent out, or the ones that you get in? It has to be 50% of those. With,
Yes.
I know. Okay. so it's
50%
not
of
all the ones
protests
you
that
send out.
people, 50% of what comes back.
Okay.
So
And
50%.
also, and I know there's a study being done on how much they're going to charge in the future, but is there a cost right now as to how much per house it's costing right now?
No, I don't have that information.
Okay.
I think there's other agencies that have that information, but right now we're just presenting, what's available, what can be available for folks, and a lot of times people don't realize that, recycling can come once a week, or bulky items could be part of it, or enhanced hazardous waste hours. So when they hear about that, and then also not having to pay for a replacement, that would be included in the collection fee if it passes. People don't realize all that will be part of it, and so we're basically giving out that information. But like some of the real details, that's either ESD or a couple of other agencies that are part of the cost of service study.
Because it seems like a pretty big swing between $60 and $80 million
I know.
is the cost.
I know.
They should have. I would think it would be a little
bit more
Yeah.
precise. So,
Thank you.
yes. Yes.
Michael, and then I'll get in. I can first.
Refresh my memory, was the people's ordinance repealed?
The people's ordinance, so what happened with Measure B, it was basically to allow the city to review a cost for trash collection. So yes.
So they would have to repeal the people's ordinance, which would take a vote of the entire population.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. Would the intent be to collect the fees, if any, through a method similar to the water bill that are sent out?
They're
For the
looking-
Utilities department?
Yeah, we had a couple of those questions at the open house. I think people want to know, it's like, how much do I need to pay and how's it going to come, right? So they don't know right now. They are looking into it, and I'm assuming that it could be kind of like the water bill, but they don't know. They're looking at other cities in the county and in the state to see what processes they have in place, and I'm thinking they're probably going to look at multiple to see what the best process is and maybe implement it that way. But they don't have an answer right now.
Okay, are they considering a fixed fee or a fee that may vary depending upon the number of containers or something like that, similar to the water bill where
Yes.
the amount you use, that you pay for the amount you use rather than a flat fee?
So that's a great question. Another thing that they're looking into, because, this is, getting that input will give the city a lot of information to make those decisions. And so there has been a few conversations about having different size trash bins, right? There's the small, medium, and the large. So they're considering, how much people throw out, and wouldn't it be better if you throw out less trash, you're paying less? That would it sort of encourage people to not throw out so much trash or not use so much and not have so much waste. So they are looking into that. They're looking into low income folks on a fixed income who won't be able to pay maybe what people in La Jolla or people who have two incomes can afford. So they're looking into that as well. The size of the trash bin, and then also folks who are on fixed income and may not be able to pay the full amount.
Mhm. So at this point, there's no way of knowing any information as to what range the fee might be.
No, because we have to find out, or the city has to find out, like, what do people want? What kind of services do they want, right? Because if recycling goes to weekly, well, that changes. And if there's bulky items once a year or twice a year, that also changes. And if there's increased hours for hazardous waste, that also changes. So it all depends on what residents want, and it all depends on the input residents give. Because the more input, the more information the city will have, and the better selection of services that they'll be able to provide, and then they can decide on the fee. Yeah, so there's still a lot of unanswered questions. This is really the study phase, and this is where the city's getting a lot of the information to the public and getting input from the public.
Okay. Are you familiar with the trash collection in Chula Vista, for example?
I am not, but I've heard from folks in open houses in the meetings that we're having that, National City does it this way, and, Chula Vista does it this way. So I know that different cities do it differently. And so, no, I'm not very familiar with other cities.
Well, that would render my next question moot, because I was going to say, I heard at one point that the fee in Chula Vista was $45 a month at one point. I don't know how, it's been
Yeah.
several years, so I don't know what it is
Yeah.
now.
And I've also heard, not that, I don't wanna scare anybody, but I've heard it's a little higher in other cities like northern San Diego, Northern California and stuff like that. So it varies. Different cities have different, and I guess it depends on what the services are, right? If you're providing more services, you may have to pay more, or if you're the city's providing less services, it could charge less. So it really just depends on the input given by residents. So it's super, super important. I really encourage everybody to go to the website to finish the questionnaire, or go to the open house where you can give your input in person as well. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public?
well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna leave the materials down back there if you haven't picked
Yes.
anything up, but the online questionnaire I did yesterday, and it's like super fast and really easy. And I encourage you to do it because it does ask, how many people in your household, what size containers you have, is it enough, do you need less, do you need more? Everyone's different, so. Thank you. Up next is a request for a letter of support for the San Ysidro World War II Memorial Wall of Honor from the Friends of San Ysidro. So we will let the Friends of San Ysidro come up. There are handouts. I left you all one at the table, and there are extras for the public on the back table.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosemary Phillips, and I used to live on Olive Street. I grew up in Olive Street, and this is Jack Getcher.
I also grew up on Olive Avenue.
Yeah.
I was there before her. I was born in 1949. Dr. Bejo's one of 11,000 babies.
So we represent the Friends of San Ysidro, and it's a group of about 40 to 50 people that have been meeting actually for over 40 years. I guess more of a social group, and they have taken on the project, and it started back in 2007. No, 2017, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just became part of the project since I think April or whatever. I'm trying to help them get further on with this. But anyway, we are requesting your support, a letter of support to help us put this project into the city's capital improvement program. We've gone through a lot of obstacles. We've been told to go ahead and apply for the CPPS, which is the Community Projects Program and Services, and we found out that our project didn't qualify for that. Now we're told that we need to apply for it, to include it into the CIP, the city CIP. The reason why we didn't qualify for the CPPS is that the monument that we're trying to bring back is on city property. So it has to be a city project.
And so was the original. The original was put up by the VFW 8063 that was here right after World War II. And this war memorial, we only have one picture of it, and it's got a list of 147 men and women that served during World War II. And the monument was right in front of our historic San Ysidro Library, which is now the teen center, as you all know. So
It was, if you look at the picture that we found that was available and it was still up, you could see that it's kind of in disrepair. And I think that that's probably what happened, that the city, took it down, but they never restored it. They never put it back up. So we're pursuing, for them to bring it back. We feel it's a very significant part of San Ysidro's military history. It has the list of names and the names of men and women of San Ysidro, only of San Ysidro, that fought or served in the military during World War II. So I think it's very significant. It'll be the first monument that San Ysidro will have. And actually, like we said, it's something that we're trying to bring back. We're not trying to reinvent, we're trying to bring it back. I put together a document of information with some background and who the Friends of San Ysidro are. Right now, we're, in order to be able to collect, because Friends of San Ysidro is a social group, we needed to find a organization that had nonprofit, was a nonprofit organization in order to be able to collect donations. So we found the South Bay Historical Society. Jack is a member, you're a board member, right?
I'm a board member of the
Yeah.
South Bay Historical Society and the secretary for the Friends of San Ysidro Luncheon Group. I'm also a board member for the Friends of the San Ysidro Library. We meet once a month, so as I'm a retired land surveyor, I've been giving back to my hometown,
It's a lot.
volunteering as best I can,
I think it's a very
helping young
worthy
kids like
project.
this man over here.
So we've indicated the current problem, and the current problem, of course, is that we've found that we needed to get into the capital improvement program in order to bring that monument back. We will be meeting we met with Council Member Moreno and with the staff, and also with Assembly Person Member David Alvarez, and they supported. So we would like a letter of support from this group. I think it's important. And any questions?
Questions, Mr. Orlando?
I believe that this is a very worthy cause. I think I support him by those who respond positively for this kind of matter. And I believe that by listening to you, and then this matter is something that is extremely important for service people. And I believe that it will deserve the attention of our local city council, because it's something that, since we're within the city, the city area, we're represented by their service. And so, because it's something that, like, we have the War Memorial, Balboa Park, building, whatever, such things like that.
There's one in
But I think
Chula
it's a worthy
Vista,
cause to
one in
have
National
something
City.
local here.
Yes,
I mean, the San Ysidro is an international city,
yes.
and I think that it is worth it. I'm sorry to hear that we should just rely on donations, I think what I'm trying to say is that we should, the committee, they should go after big funds, big corporations, San Diego Gas and Electric, people that are able to donate large amounts of money, that instead of having a little anything like this, there's something worthy of the cost. And I'm saying, we're looking at, amongst all of that, situation that was controversial, and then the federal government responded, hey, this is a federal thing, regulated by the federal government, so you can't touch some of those things. But I think that being that it's going to be local, our officials should be, asked to, because they have contact with big monies, and I think we should get their support, Mrs. Moreno and other.
I do need to be transparent and disclose that we have a little quirk right now with the South Bay Historical Society. We can't collect donations yet until they clear up a report that's missing for one of the agencies. So, hopefully, but, government, I used to work for over 20 years with the Sacramento, with California agency. and it takes a while. So they're saying that maybe 60 days for them to just receive the missing report and check that it's been received and done.
It's a minor
I did-
detail.
Yeah, I did want to say that, that's,
Is it gonna be placed in the same place where it was? Is that the?
Not exactly. It's gonna be in front of the library. Okay,
New
the
library?
original one
oh,
was
The old
in front of the old library, but it was over on the west side, over there by the feed store side. But now there's a bunch of trees there. So back in 2017, when I started this effort, we got together and we decided, well, there's a big area where the grass, where the El Camino Real Bell is. So as I'm a land surveyor, I surveyed the property, I drew a map, and I submitted it to the city in 2017, and they approved the location. So that's the approved location. So, and by the way, before I move on, you guys watched Ken Kramer about San Diego? You guys seen that? Okay, there was episode 89 that myself and Charlie Velasquez, who's the president of the Friends of San Ysidro group, he's Marvis, the class of 1952, 90 years old. They interviewed us and right there in front of the library. And there's a lot of history in that video. It's on YouTube, you can check it out. So please watch it.
Olga, then Mike?
I support you, Jack, because you've been fighting for this for a long time. I feel the heart to it. I believe it should never been taken off. And I'm afraid of the names. I hope you get all those names back. And even if you have more that, but these are residents that were from here,
Yes.
and they should be recognized. They should never been taken off.
Yeah.
Or wherever they're at, it's at.
Yeah.
I support 100%. It's well deserved in our community.
Michael?
I'm familiar with Mr. Getcher and his years-long effort at this program, and we're both vets. Okay, so we understand the value of something like this, particularly its historic value. And I'm also a history buff as well. And so I would like to recommend that I would like to make a motion to provide a letter of support to the San Ysidro World War II Memorial Wall of Honor, sponsored by the Friends of San Ysidro. And the letter should contain this as an attachment.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Well, before I motion, I would,
As part of one of your CIP requests.
We're gonna get to that one next.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
That's a different,
When we started this in 2017, they said we need to be we met with David Alvarez when he was a city councilman, and they said the big deal was we gotta be a nonprofit. So we hooked up with South Bay Historical Society, and then just recently, within the last few months, we were told by the city of San Diego that it is a new curveball for us about the CIP program. We didn't know that at the beginning, so that's why Rosemary put all these documents together, and we're asking for support for the CIP process.
So there's a motion and a second, discussion?
I would like to know, the letter is sent to whom?
Well, typically I send it to the person who requests it and then they send it to whoever they need.
right,
So I would send it back to them.
goes to them and then they can distribute it however they wish.
We're gonna be requesting a meeting with the mayor. And so this letter of support will be part of the letter that we sent requesting the meeting.
If I can amend the letter, my motion in regards to the letter of support, which was to provide the letter of support for the San Ysidro World War II Memorial and Wall of Honor by the Friends of San Ysidro, include this handout as part of that, but also to consider, I guess you would call it a project. I consider the project to be included in the city's CIP program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Perez, do you second the amendment?
Yes.
Okay, and then you had a question after? No? Okay, so, we have a motion and a second with both of them agree to the amendment. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay,
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so
Thank you all
much.
very much.
all right. The next one is the approval of an infrastructure project priority list. So this came from the council member's office. The city's planning department is undergoing an infrastructure project priority survey. They did send links out to the public. I did do that one. That one was a little bit more involved than the trash study. But you can see where other people have submitted projects. So there's a map, and if you go down, there's very few in San Ysidro, but you can go and see, there's a little flag, and you can go and see what it is. It doesn't say who submitted it, but that's what it is. The planning department requested that each planning group submit a list of up to 20 projects. They don't have to be on an existing list. I just thought that would be a good starting point. Anybody could say anything that they want. They want 20 from each planning group, and the deadline is tomorrow, which was very timely because we had a meeting tonight. I didn't want to just make a list of 20 or say, look at the existing list. They specifically said they didn't want to just use existing lists. I did, when I sent out this tally sheet to you over the weekend or earlier, I removed projects that have already been completed or are currently under construction or planning. So like Buyer Park's on there because Buyer Park's moving ahead. The fire station was still on there. Fire station's been completed. The pocket park at the old fire station has been completed. So this was a starting point. We can start with this. You can name out whatever you want. I know Michael has some comments, but before we get to that, I was thinking that the best way to do it was just to go down the row, whoever was here today, and you call out 20 projects and we approve them as a group. That was my thought. It doesn't have to be that way, but we'll let Michael comment on this item.
Well, this construct is a bit of a surprise. This is the infrastructure fee study that was done as part of the community plan update. Okay, it describes a number of all the projects that would be potential funding could receive potential funding. Okay, and we reviewed all this at the community planning group in 2017, January 2017, starting in January 2017, and made our final recommendations in January of 2018. So this is a rather complex effort in trying to decide what projects, the priorities of the projects. The projects were grouped, not just thrown together as one lump of as the tally sheet shows. They were broken up into categories such as library projects, fire department projects, what was known as mobility projects, anything that had to do with streets and sidewalks, streetlights, roads, and so forth. Park projects, and then there was those were further broken down into those that were eligible for what's called DIF, development impact fees. These are fees that are charged to developers when they do a project to support other things in the community. And so there was development impact fee eligible projects, and then there are a number of projects that were considered not developer impact fee eligible. That's the city's decision whether it's eligible for DIF or not, because that's an ordinance in the city. So they're split not only between categories, but they're also split between those that would be eligible for development impact fees and those who are not. Those that are not eligible for developer impact fees would have to find all of their funding someplace else. So trying to say, okay, let's pick 20 of these you know, right, just because we'll lose, I believe, it would lose some of its impact because some would not be eligible and some would be, and then should a street light have a higher priority than a public park? I don't know. Maybe if it's in your neighborhood, you might have a different opinion, you know? So, how do you provide the city with the kind of information that they really need? So but you say, well, they're giving us 24 hours to do this.
Oh, they didn't give us 24 hours. They gave me, they let us know at the beginning of the month, but I wasn't going to submit a list of 20 projects that I liked. They wanted it from the community planning group. So because we had the meeting today, I agendized it for today so that everybody would.
So they give us 15 days.
Well, why should we
For 8 days, right?
why should we be limited to prioritize 20 projects when we have more than that already in a priority list? Does that mean we have to get rid of some of these projects?
So that document doesn't go away because it was adopted as part of our thing. So they're not saying that document is going away. And we don't have to include any of these. You could say 20 different, you could say you want this particular sidewalk or that particular, that's what what their email specifically says is their goal with the infrastructure prioritization survey is to provide a simple and efficient means for CPGs to provide input on all infrastructure needs and priorities in their communities. Regardless of if those needs are currently identified in a community plan or PFFFP.
That's what used to be called PFF.
Yes. So they want to know what our current 20 priorities are. Regardless of grouping or diff or existing funding. That's why I took out the projects that were already in. Well, so we have an opportunity.
It's not your fault.
We have an opportunity to provide these 20 priorities, or we can pass.
This is a sneaky way for the city to get around these things. Because now we pick 20 projects, it could be 20 mobility projects, and the hell with parks. Okay?
Well, again, that's not going away. Those documents that we adopted that went through so many years of vetting are not going away.
They do go away because the city is going to go, see, the community voted for these. These 20, the community voted for these 20.
We can choose not to provide a list.
Politicians.
We could not provide a list.
Can we reference that document instead of the 20? Can we let them know that? Can we let the city know, hey, we're not sending you a list of 20, we're sending you
That leaves
this
it up.
document?
It's the same thing. It actually would be better to leave it alone, to tell you the truth.
If you all want to vote like that, that's.
Because they're all prioritized already. They're all priorities by category already. Okay? So if we submit another list, okay, of priorities, that's going to change this. Regardless of what you say, it's going to change this, because this is what they're going to look at. This is what they're going to say. This is what the community submitted, the latest thing that they submitted.
And you can vote that way. We don't have to provide a list. That's why I
We
didn't
already
provide
have a list. We already have a list with the priorities.
They asked me to submit a list of 20 projects, and I said, I'm gonna agendize it and let the.
I vote no.
Is that a motion?
I vote, well, if I make a motion, the motion would be to, I wasn't prepared for this one, but, that the San Ysidro Community Planning Group reaffirms its, project priority ranking, dated 22 January 2018.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Can you read that? I want to see how is, can you say that, repeat it again?
The what I'll submit to
The
this.
San Ysidro Community Plan, oh, you want to say?
Well, the San Ysidro Community Planning Group reaffirms its project priority as listed, and I'll give them the title of that book,
Yeah. it's,
as adopted on January 22nd, 2018. So there's a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion?
Maybe I can jump in. I'm with the city planning department. I'm not with the department the team that's like doing the prioritization, but I mean, this is something I can definitely take back with them, because I'm not sure like where the 20 are going, like are they being prioritized over the kid, I'm not sure what that is like, but there is a workshop on August 26th, and maybe you guys are interested in attending, and maybe this is where you guys can ask your questions, and it's gonna take place at the Logan Heights Library, 567S, South 28th Street, and it's on Monday at 7 p.m. And maybe that's a resource where we can take these questions and ask them. Because I'm not really sure like what the priority is. Like, why do they want you guys to do the 20 over the PFFP? I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Where's that at the library?
Yeah, the Logan
No,
Heights
not this
Library.
library.
And then you can RSVP online if you go to like the,
I will find that and send it out.
yeah, I actually sent that to you on last Thursday. You can, it has all the links for it.
Oh, then was that where the link, with a link to the,
It has the link to the survey and it has a link to the workshop.
then I already sent it out. So
Is
check
All in
it.
person, or is there an hybrid? Is it like can you do a Zoom?
Let's see. Do you happen to know where they did for the link?
I'm looking for it. I sent you guys a flurry of emails.
It seems like it's online, but also if you need like interpretation services, if you follow the link, you can provide that as well. And it's specifically for this process.
Yep, I sent it on August 8th, and there is an RSVP for the workshop, and then in there is a link to the survey. Are you still in?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, hi. This is our planner.
Hello, everyone.
So you got it 5 days ago. There's a link to our RSVP for the workshop and a link to the survey.
Like, also I want to provide you guys the option, like, if you guys want to, like, have Rudy send me a list of questions, I can reach out to someone in the team as well, and maybe get back to you before then as well.
So we have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Go. So I will reply to Giancarlo, who sent me that request with this response if it's. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
Let me say one other thing. If you really want to look at this, then you can do the similar procedure that we did to develop this first two instances. And that would be to set up a subcommittee that could review what's already been done, what priorities they have, what needs to go, what can stay, what can be added, or anything like that. And then come up ultimately with the series of priorities by category. That's the way we did it the last time. It took a year, but I think we can do it a little less time this time.
Sounds like you're volunteering to be on the.
I have all the documents. I've got all the
Historian.
stuff.
Can I comment? I want to say that we, as members of this committee, we have to kind of understand that, well, that we hope our officials can choose the importance of how much importance they should give to certain projects based on public safety, things like that, instead of naturally popularity, something like that. So I think we all have to kind of trust our officials that You know, for instance, not too long ago, the newspaper reported how many parks in San Ysidro are being targeted for improvements. And I saw some of the names of our local project, parks, and I said, well, maybe not, they just don't have the money for everybody. And we just have to trust that they wanna choose, you and I, maybe around the area where you live. And they'll have to reject others, whatever. So that's just my comment.
Well, most of the parks, if you want to concentrate on that, are usually targeted by the council person for that district based on what they learn from their constituents, and then they're targeted that way if they don't have a list like this. The other thing is, many of these projects, there's sometimes a pile of money that becomes available from the state or from the feds. They say, oh, you can use it for this purpose, but it can only be used for this purpose.
Yes.
It's not just, here's $10 million. Okay, but you're gonna have to use it for parks, or you're gonna have to use it to fix the streets, or something like that. Okay? And so they look at that and say, oh, well, we're not gonna throw that money away. Let's take a look and see where we need to use that. And so these lists come in handy because they are prioritized, at least for our community. They say, what can we do in San Ysidro? Well, let's take a look at this list. Let's hope they do that. At least that seems to be the purpose. And they can look at that and say, okay, which one can we'll figure out how much this might cost, and then see how we might be able to do that. Can we do this one, number one, or can we do number 6? Because number 6 is a little cheaper, and that's the only money we have available. So that's the other reason why you want to have it categorized, rather than, oh, this project is number 1, or this project is number 20.
Do you have it in order in the book already like that?
What?
In categories?
Yes.
Okay.
You have that link, Michael sent me an email and I sent it all to you. So you guys have that document
The document.
in PDF form.
Yeah, for example, they'll provide something like that. Okay. Page that
I know
describes.
Remember now?
what email you're talking
Yeah.
about, okay.
It describes what the project is, where it goes, and some estimates if necessary. Sometimes they can come up with estimates as to what the funding, how much funding it would take. Of course, this is from 2016 is when they did this. And so the estimates may not be perfect.
All right.
And it's page after page with each of the projects. I don't know if this is available anymore. As far as from the city.
That should still be on
I
our,
don't know if the city still has these
It's on
available.
there.
it's on our community
We're
profile.
not doing them anymore, but they're on there.
So you
Not really.
Where can we see
you'll have to go online.
It's on our community profile. If you Google San Ysidro Community Planning Group, those documents are on there.
Well, this is my first time here, and for me, it's really interesting because I came to see what you do, guys, and for me, sincerely, one of the main problems for me, that's why I'm here, is that Dairy Mart should be wider. They should have a wider road, because the traffic is so bad. So I don't know if you could do something about it. Palm Avenue by 805 is getting a renovation, and they're paying $24 million for it. So I think somebody should do that, because Dairy Mart is crazy. You see the big lines for people that live in over there. I live in Sycamore Road, and December is crazy. And people that live in Coral Gates, it's terrible, sincerely.
So it's unfortunate Giancarlo isn't here tonight, but Dairy Mart is an issue that we've been dealing, Dairy Mart and Willow Road. That part of Guy, those are actually projects that are owed to us still. It's a political thing that we need to.
I heard a long
keep on.
time ago that when
Las
Las Americas
Americas.
was opening, they gave money. for
No,
that
they
road.
didn't. Las Americas owes us
Also,
those projects,
That's what they said. I don't know. Everybody
Yeah.
says their part.
but they don't make money. That's what they said.
They don't make money. There's no
There was-
parking space there.
There was
It was
trouble with
full
the
of people.
sidewalk too. The sidewalk, there was a problem with the sidewalk because it's potentially a environmental problem, but they seem to have, I think, I remember few years ago, I think it was, they basically made an agreement and solved the problem where they could get a sidewalk put in. Where it is, I don't know, in the city.
Yeah.
But,
We'll keep coming to these because.
as far as Dairy Mart, what are you talking about, like Dairy Mart and Buyer? Okay, the big problem there is kind of somewhat like the off-ramp at San Ysidro Boulevard from 5. Okay, where there's an off-ramp from an interstate highway, the traffic control belongs to Caltrans, not the city.
That's why they.
I know the guy that tried to fix that up with this traffic signal in the center of Villa San Ysidro.
Mhm.
It took him a year to a year and a half to get that figured out and approved by Caltrans. I think he was so frustrated he left, went to Israel. And now you talk about, Dairy Mart Road and Buyer is even worse, because not only do you have Caltrans plus the city, but you also have the Federal Railway Administration, which controls the tracks, regardless of whether it's MTS running on it. There are trains that run on that all the time. And that's why the trolley doesn't run between 1 because the trains have a priority or trains have principal operations between 1 and 4 a.m. So the trolley couldn't run even if it wanted to. And so the traffic signals and how those gates work and what happens with all the traffic signals is really up to the Federal Railway Administration regulations. And that's why you have those problems there, because apparently, I don't know how you get those three. You got feds, you got the state, and you got the city. Oh my God. The only thing missing is the county. Where's the county?
Jack?
I just want to comment on, I've lived around here 75 years, and talking about traffic, I've always seen it, and a lot of people, including myself, have gotten used to. We're getting Los Angeles. But one of the things that bugs me and a lot of people I've talked to from San Ysidro that the traffic is getting worse is this bike lane project. You go down Bar Boulevard, right there by Dairy Mart, and it seems like the bikers are getting more attention than us that are driving the cars, and people that live on Buyer that are used to be able to park across the street and now cannot park there. And now you got Park Boulevard, Park Avenue in the middle of the heart of the Little Landers community. The best thing that ever happened there was the 2 one-ways. Now you got the bike lane with concrete, not even a painted island. And I got friends that live there and they're having trouble getting in and out of there. So I've even heard of somebody, I'm not gonna mention the name, wants to start a petition to get rid of the bike lane. So I don't know, this is my first time here.
I want that
just wanted
name,
to throw
Jack.
that in.
I want the name.
Yeah.
Those bike lanes are great.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Remember, you have a
Yeah.
we have a one-party city council, so
Yeah.
that's it. Whatever
I
they want,
heard
they
it's a
get.
sand deck project.
It is a Sendak project.
Yeah.
Item F is elections. So we are playing catch up here. We should have had our elections in March. I had a misunderstanding with Marlon that our terms and conditions have not been approved yet, but apparently they were. So we are starting the process where we will be electing 7 seats that end in 2024 and 2 seats that end in 2026, a total of 9 seats out of the 15. So our first step is this month to appoint the elections subcommittee of at least 3 members, but not more than 5. The members present that are eligible to serve because their seat isn't up are Lourdes, Mr. Friedman, Goyo, Mr. Perez, Mr. Ripa.
What did you say?
Huh?
What did you say?
For the election subcommittee.
No, I can't be in the election subcommittee. I'm not running, and I'm not.
That's why you should be, because you don't have a conflict of interest.
My term's up.
That's why. That's why you are eligible. Because you are not up for reelection. You don't have to be up there. That didn't sound like you wanted to be.
Yeah.
So again, we need at least 3, but not more than 5. Sometimes we throw Carlos on there just because it seems very official. But he's not here today to say yes or no. But again, of the eligible members that wouldn't have a conflict because they're not up for election would be Charqueño, Friedman, but Mr. Ortiz, Mr. Perez, Mr. Rivas.
So when am I up for reelection?
2026. So you still got 2 more years. Okay.
Mark's still it's not there yet.
So, are there 3 people that are willing to serve on, and you don't have to meet in person, you can meet by, I think Goyo and I have done it in the past by Zoom. It's just making sure that the nominated candidates are qualified. We have a list of members, it's not it'll take you 20 minutes to meet on Zoom, one time.
Volunteer.
Mr. Ortiz?
They're 5, please.
It's up to you guys. You guys get together afterwards and say when. I'm gonna put Charqueño. Mr. Perez. Okay. So I will entertain a motion to appoint Ms. Charqueño, Mr. Ortiz, and Mr. Perez as our election subcommittee for 2024. Anybody make that motion? Mr. Morrison makes the motion. Is there a second?
I will.
Ms. Espinosa makes the second. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Unanimous. All right, see, that was easy.
Question, when am I expired?
You, this year. So that's why you were not eligible, because you would be on the ballot. Or if you choose to be on the ballot, you would be on the ballot.
I'm also.
Yes. So I'll send out this document to you. It says when you're up. All right. Communications, announcements, and special orders. Members of the public. No? I know how you feel.
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, last time we were at the meeting, you said that you were gonna look into the sidewalks where all the dirt on the trolley.
Yes, sir.
And now, since they put all the fence right here in front of Smythe and San Ysidro Boulevard, we have people coming down the hill walking, and they can't cross there right now because they got the fence. So people have to go either to the north or the south. And if people live on the north side, there's no light, no crosswalk, nor nothing on that side. So I hope they could use something, whoever put those signs up, the fence, they should have left the walkway so that people could walk across because they come from school into their homes.
I will send the report number to Giancarlo. A month ago, I submitted that with the pictures.
Okay, and doesn't do no good, right?
Well,
But,
I mean, I can go grab a shovel and do it.
but, and also, I mean, how long is that project gonna be? Another year, which that other one hasn't been finished yet?
They were supposed to come last month and didn't, so we'll try to have them come out next month. I can request, but I can't compel for them to come, but they were supposed to be here last month.
Yeah, but like I say, they don't think about people that walk. They just think about, oh, we're gonna fence this out and we're gonna do it and that's it. And they're not even working, you know, they fenced it up. They got the machines there, but they should have been already half done. You know, it doesn't take that long to throw a curb, believe me. And that's about it for today on my part.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I want to put on my other South Bay Historical Society hat and just mention, hopefully you guys noticed our historical US 101 signs along Bayer Boulevard.
Yeah.
I kind of got that project going through the South Bay Historical Society, and we got the signs starting on Bayer Boulevard, going up toward the wing in the city of Chula Vista and the city of National City, because this was 101 when Rosemary and I were like 6, 7, 8 years old or even less, and my brothers used to drive it. And I'm also working on, I talked to Gerardo about continuing that project through Harbor Drive and Pacific Highway, so hopefully those will be up sometime in the next couple of years. So I'm kind of a history buff, so I wanted to throw that in there. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. Puts us on the map with the North County. Everybody thought only 101 was in North County, but it actually goes all the way down to the border. So.
As a matter of fact, it was all the way up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other members of the public? Okay.
Lo cual más quisiera hablar en español, no sé si
Está bien,
saben.
sí.
Van a hacer un edificio de 4 o 5 unidades aquí en el Cottonwood. Y ¿cuál es la otra? Vista. Y
Cottonwood.
supuestamente iban a ser 67 unidades, las bajaron a 57, no, 63 y luego lo bajaron a 57. Y no sé qué van a hacer con el estacionamiento. Si en la noche la gente no tiene estacionamiento, en las calles está lleno, y inclusive se paran en los lugares que están pintados de rojo. Imagínate con 57 unidades más ahí. Y cuando hicieron el edificio nuevo aquí junto al trolley, luego empezó la rayadera. Yo tengo ya viviendo 13 años aquí en San Ysidro y empezó la rayadera en todo el vecindario. So, imagínate ahora con este edificio de 57 unidades ahí.
¿Cuál es ese edificio? ¿Ventana del Sur?
No. Ese proyecto lo discutimos el mes pasado y se votó para darles una carta de apoyo, pero no la condición, pero comentando de que estamos en desacuerdo de los números de estacionamientos que van a poner.
Sí.
Pero sí cuentan con el apoyo del comité.
Gracias.
Pero gracias. Casi en todos los proyectos ese es el comentario que hacemos, es de que aprobamos de que necesitamos viviendas, pero con más estacionamiento.
Claro.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
I don't know if on that planning thing that you guys have, is there anything like for cleanup, like for trash and stuff? Because over like at Vista Way and Fire, there's a lot of trash, a lot of bottles with urine inside and stuff like that. I mean,
So I brought it up to, there is a division or I don't even know if it's actual division, but they handle more of the multifamily housing over so many units. So I bring that up regularly because you're right. When you're walking to a school, you're walking somewhere, there's all this trash, and I've seen people doing it. They're cleaning out their car and they just throw it out by the curb. I got in trouble for throwing it back into somebody's car. I wasn't supposed to do that. But you're right. And I was told, basically, it's like, we can't compel, like I've told them, talk to the property managers. You guys, they have regular communication. Talk to the property managers to do that. Today, I noticed up on one of the C-word complexes, today was actually like there was no parking in front of them. That it was cleared. People had left, and there was all the trash from the trees. And I wish I could have gone and gotten a broom and done it myself, but I was walking the dog and he was not having it. But
this gentleman here goes up and down Cottonwood and picking up trash. And he you know, yeah, it's because it's ridiculous. All the people that just drive by. As a matter of fact, last time he was here, he said if the trolley could put a trash can at the end over by the bus stop so that maybe people could put,
I have news on that.
There was a question, right?
There is a ver si en español. ATS son los que son responsables de la área alrededor del trolley, desde la estación de Bayer hasta Park, hasta West. Ese corredor acaban de conseguir con casa fondos para invertir en el alumbrado, botes de basura y repavimentación, y hasta instalaciones artísticas. Y ese comité va a empezar en este año, pero el proyecto se tiene que completar para el final del próximo año. Eso es para el área peatonal.
right.
Pero usted menciona la calle, entonces hay dos.
Coming down the ramp, right?
Yeah, coming down the ramp.
It's still part of MTS.
Right, all the way to the sidewalk, because
Yeah.
last time I heard you said, or somebody said that the whole sidewalk, that dirt comes down into the sidewalk, MTS is supposed to be cleaned up, because
Yeah.
that was the
So it's been a battle,
Okay.
right? Even to clean the debris and the weeds and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be public engagement on what to do there. And I can share that with when it's.
MTS has 100-foot right of way.
Yeah.
MTS has 100-foot right of way. But I don't know exactly where
where it starts and where it ends. Yeah.
I'm a land surveyor, I must have to come out of retirement and show you where it is.
Go ahead.
Okay, I walked through where Willow is or Park Heaven, and one time I asked the guy that was cleaning, he works at Park Heaven, and why don't you clean the streets? And he told me that the street is part of the city, and he doesn't have to clean it. And I go, what? You live here, you Park Heaven have to clean all those leaves. They go, no. And I go, and I asked William Moreno, I go, why isn't this, why don't you put with the machines, the sweeper? I see the sweeper at night and it goes in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
It doesn't go through the sidewalks. And I go, you should put an ad or put something, the sweeper's gonna pass through the street at this day. It just goes in the middle of the street.
So they have to be posted and it takes, our sidewalks are not very, depending on where you're at, some of the sidewalks are narrow as it is. So they have to be posted, because we requested it before, it comes like at 1 a.m. and
Yes.
it's full of cars, and you're right, all the red curbs, people are parked there.
But it's in front of the Willow and it's really dirty,
Yeah,
really dirty.
so the only people I've had luck with are the apartments next to the 7-Eleven on Bayer. Those are the only ones that come out and the guy that works there sweeps the street in front of it. Everybody else that I've asked have said the same thing.
We have a neighbor and we love that neighbor. He sweeps from Denny's all the way to Sycamore. He does it every single day. So we have that neighbor. Every day.
El único lugar donde hay postes para que no se estacionen y pasen la barredora es en Villanueva. Es en el único lugar aquí en San Isidro. También, como dicen, en Black Shop, una sola vez en casi 60 años que tengo, pasó, pero por el medio. Una vez en 60.
Pues ahí pasa todas las noches por el medio de la...
No, ya después me di cuenta que ya no, porque el agua que tira se regresaba de la Avery y ya no entraba a Black Shop.
You know, the only reason they sweep the streets is not to make the neighborhood nice. It's to keep the trash out of the storm drain.
The street sweepers are part of that division.
So we get, when it rains a lot, Calle Primera, they get flooded. Really bad. It's a pool.
So we're gonna move on to, that was all the members of the public?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
okay. Carlos already gave his report. Lucero from the mayor's office is not here. Last month she sent me her report by email. I sent it to you all. Giancarlo from Councilmember Moreno's office is not here tonight. I believe we have the new rep from Carolyn Mara Vargas. Ernesto, is that you?
That's me.
Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Ernesto Castellana. I'm the new community representative for the office of Caroline Mara Vargas. I'm going to be replacing Andrew Harvey as the community representative here in San Ysidro. I have family in San Ysidro on Cottonwood, right by the 7-Eleven. Tijuanense, fronteriza. Just started 2 weeks ago, so still getting acquainted with all the things that are happening in San Ysidro, so be patient with me as I get more acquainted. As for any updates, I would leave my business card as well, but I don't have one yet, so I can give my contact information to whomever can distribute that to, and I'll also stick around if anybody has any questions or concerns for me. For updates, so on behalf of the chairwoman, there's 2 grants that are still applicable for anyone. The 2 grants names are the Community Enhancement Program and the Neighborhood Reinvestment Program. You can go online on the chairwoman's page, and there's more information on that as well. On behalf of the county, there are vacancies that are available for the boards and commissions. So you can go online to the San Diego County page under the boards and commissions to see which specifically are the commissions that are available for vacancies. Other than that, again, Ernesto Castañeda, pleasure to be here. Good, looking forward to meeting you all.
Do you know anybody by the name of Mary Elena?
Sorry?
Do you know anybody by the name of Mary Elena?
No.
Thank you, Ernesto.
I know.
We also have a new rep from Senator Padilla's office, but I don't see Jesse here tonight. Myra from Assemblymember Alvarez's office sent me her report by email earlier, so I'll send that out to you. And then other representatives, I would like Selena to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I do have very good updates for you guys. I'm Selena Sanchez, I'm from this area. 3 things that happened this last month in July. On July 23rd, the City Council voted unanimously to adopt Blueprint SD. As many of you guys know, the general plan was undergoing a refresh, but it's also known as Blueprint SD. And it identifies areas where more homes and jobs are connected to convenient and affordable transportation option. This approach helps us meet the needs of our growing city while making progress towards our climate action goals. And to access this new refresh or this new document, you can visit our website, sandiego.gov/blueprint-sd. Additionally, on July 1st, the City Council adopted the Environmental Justice Element, which is a new chapter in our general plan. The Environmental Justice Element sets goals, policies, and implementation measures focused on advancing environmental justice in our city. Environmental justice topics can include access to healthy foods, pollution exposure and air quality, safe and healthy homes, public facilities and infrastructure prioritization, public spaces, and more. And to access this new EJ element, you can visit our website at sandiego.gov/EJ element. And then lastly, on July 1st, the City Council voted unanimously to adopt the 2024 Land Development Code Update, which contained 99 amendments, items that included clarifications, corrections, and changes to the regulations to be consistent with new state laws. These changes included streamlining the approval process for behavioral health facilities that provide treatment for people experiencing mental health issues, implementing new state laws to promote affordable home development, improving on-site public infrastructure and community sites, and expanding the city's incentives for new child care facilities. And if you visit the project website, you can find these new amendments. You can also sign up for new updates for the next LDC update for 2025. And then you can also submit suggestions for the next code update, which are not being accepted. So you can find a link for that. And they're also having office hours if you guys are interested in attending and signing up. Those are the 3 updates that we just passed 3 big initiatives for the police department.
Thank you. Okay, Chairman, I usually don't have updates or any announcements, but the topic of bike lanes and roundabouts has been hot, both here and on what's up San Ysidro. So I just want to let you know that I do remember when we first started, when Sandag first started the project. They started in 2017. There were meetings, there was workshops, there was an open house with cookies at Southwest High School. They did that here in San Ysidro, and they did that in the Imperial Beach Nestor area as well, because it's the border to Bayshore Bikeway, basically a connection. So there was a lot of public outreach done. I know people have said, I don't remember, I wasn't told, or I wasn't whatever, but that is a Sandag project. So I wanted to do 2 things today. Sandag meets on the 2nd and 4th Fridays downtown, right near the trolley line. If anyone's interested in going and telling it, because you tell us, we tell, Giancarlo sits here and hears it. He goes, hopefully, and tells the council member. But the council member sits on Sunday, so, you know, they have to reach everyone's ears as well.
What time?
They generally meet, it's weird because one day they meet at 9 and one day they meet at 10. So you have to look at it, not here, down at
PM?
AM. I know.
See, they always put it so that people can't go because they're working, you know?
I believe they take written public comment. So then I just wanted to let you know, I got an email today from Sandag that they have a meeting. I already posted it. I'm gonna send it out to this group. They are beginning meetings about a new bus rapid transit line, which will be, I guess it's gonna be the interim while they start the process of creating the purple line. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the purple line. It was originally supposed to be a new trolley line that was supposed to run between San Ysidro and Sorrento Valley along the 805. The picture they sent today had it using the existing blue line and then kind of like snapping off in National City and then going up the 805. I don't have any more details, it's not my project, but I wanted to let you know that they start these kind of projects years in advance. So in order to get engaged, in order to get updates, you need to sign up with them, and they send out regular emails as to where the project is, when there's time for input, when there's time to fix things, add things, remove things, because that's going to be one of their next major things. A whole new trolley line is a big issue, and if it's serving us down here, then we should be involved. So I just wanted to let you know that that's coming. And in the meantime, it looks like they're going to have a bus rapid transit. Those things are pretty cool because they get you where you need to go and quicker than all the different connections.
Yeah, like they got one from Rancho Bernardo to downtown. They get pretty quick because they use a carpool.
They use a carpool or they use the emergency. Yeah. That's all I had. Board members, will go down, Mr. Ripa, starting with you. Doyle.
In regards to what I mentioned on the MTS, so MTS got a grant from Caltrans to improve the Bayer trolley station pedestrian access point, and they partnered with CASA to do the community engagement on the art and reading efforts for that project. So I will share one as soon as I have the dates.
That's the Cypress Corridor?
No, actually Cypress is with the city of San Diego. This is MTS, so it's got the complement team.
Okay.
But it's
okay.
The MTS property. So I will share once we have, because there's community input on the art that would go on it. It's fully funded. For the cultural corridor, which is Cypress Drive, that also the city approved the funds, and because of the state grant that was awarded, they actually upgraded, because those funds have to be spent on Cypress, to underground utilities on Cypress. It's gonna be that first in the San Diego Historic Village, so undergrounding of utilities as part of the improvement for the pedestrian path.
Nice. Just Cypress, not.
Just Cypress, yeah.
I remember when we tried to get them undergrounded on, I got the name of the road again. It's been a while.
Conwood?
Who?
Oh, on Seaward?
Seaward.
Yeah.
No, it was, for Casitas de las Florecitas.
Yeah.
Seaward, yeah, okay. I remember we tried to get that undergrounded.
That would have been nice.
Huh?
That would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been.
Maybe
The
not
city
Seaward,
said there's no way.
There's no
SDG&E said that, we have to do the whole area because it's a major transmission line. But, so they're gonna do Cypress. I don't know how they're gonna underground this, just Cypress.
That is a big line there.
Yeah.
On Cypress. Yeah.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how they do that without doing Seaward. Okay, anyway, it's just a comment.
Yeah, yeah.
Observation.
Last thing was that we also had the groundbreaking for La Semilla, which is a community center on environmentally focused. Hopefully going up soon. It should take about a year of construction, and it's fully funded for construction and 2 years of programming.
Mr. Freeman? Mr. Perez?
Oh, we're gonna have a groundbreaking for the park on Friday for Bayer Park. That's only for the first phase. It's gonna take a couple of years to finish that.
This Friday?
This Friday.
At what time?
Don't know yet.
And it's this one thing.
We were told, what was this, Saturday?
Dick Miller Construction.
Okay,
That's a contractor.
okay. Ms. Espinosa?
Well, I'm gonna do this for standing up the community for the air. We can't stand the smell anymore. So there's people from Pro Beach or, Orange County, so it's like, what is it, Chula Vista, Otay area? They're coming over and some other groups are coming over and we're gonna speak on the news. It's not, there's no nonprofit, no political. It's just residents standing up. If you guys want a flyer, I have some here. You guys can go. Just wanna speak. We're trying to do a human, chain, like, come on, help us out. It smells really bad. It's really bad. And it's on Sunday. We've been working on this like for, that's it.
Ms. Aguilar?
Yes, next Friday, we're gonna have the distribution of the food bank in Las Americas. And for the people who comes for first time, we are hearts and hands working together. We give the distribution of the food bank the first Tuesday in Monte Carmelo Church and the third Friday in Las Americas. And also, we clean up twice a week, San Ysidro Boulevard, from the border until McDonald's and the gas station. They turn back over there. And also, we are organizing our 25th anniversary for October, the 25th. And for next month, I will bring tickets to sell and support the event. Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Redondo?
Yeah, I'd like to second, what Olga mentioned. I'd like to propose that we should get a report on the update of that. I've been relying on the newspaper reports and some of them are sketchy, and I think the newspaper says the end of September, it's supposed to be a major breakthrough to repair but I'd like to see that somebody from the city come up and report to us, because everybody remembers that it's been almost a year, sorry, the early months that we had the report from the city, the progress and the monies and stuff like that. We should get an update. That's all.
Please delete some emails. Your inbox is full. Ms. Chapkamian? Ms. Martha? We have no active subcommittees and we have no reports from CPC or Otay Mesa. So we will adjourn at 7:18 p.m. Thank you very much. Are every